Hey guys, so I thought today I'm gonna create a quick, hopefully, quick and useful video talking about the law of attraction because this is one of the most fascinating laws of universe that I found that it's extremely powerful and it always works. And I have experienced many metaphysical or spiritual stuff or learned many things, concepts, things like this law of attraction. And I'm not a person who believes in things blindly, but this one thing is something that always amazes me because it works. At least in my experience, it works, and I cannot explain it in the limited, mundane manners to say, oh, okay, maybe it's not anything spiritual, or maybe it's just maybe I'm making it spiritual in my mind, or I want to make it something like onwardly or whatever. It always works, and that's why I love it. So the law of attraction says that anything that your attention is focused on it is absorbed, attracted to your life. So whether you think about a small thing, about like getting $5 or winning lottery or getting a job or anything else, you are starting to attract it to your life. No, it's not like that. If you just think something quickly, it's going to come into your life. Actually, this is one of the most important aspects of the law of attraction. So, number one, the thought that goes on in your mind about something, your intention, your desire, should be something that has enough energy to become a reality. So the repeated thoughts about something, especially the ones that have strong emotional energy to it, they turn to reality into your life. Whether that thing is a good thing or positive thing or negative thing. The second thing to understand about it is that it doesn't say, the law, it doesn't say that the things that you want going to be attracted to your life. No. But the things that you put your attention on them, whether you want it or not, that's the trick that a lot of people don't know. So if you think that I don't want to be poor, you actually attracting being poor into your life. If you think about something like I don't want to have low self-esteem, I don't want people to hate me. If you think about that, you're actually going to get that hate, and you're going to get that more of the low self-esteem, because you have to focus your attention and your intention on the thing that you want, not the thing that you don't want. In the other hand, they say that your subconscious mind doesn't have a concept of yes and no, wanting or not wanting. So your subconscious mind is programmed by giving it a program by focusing on that thing, whether you want it or not. So always remember, if you want to become wealthy, You have to focus your mind on wealth, not thinking and worrying and crying about not being wealthy. So that's one reason for many people this doesn't work, because most people energy and attention is concentrated on the lack of that what they want. Let me repeat this. This is very important. The reason that most people don't get what they want is because their energy and their attention is focused on the lack of their desire, not their desire. You always think that I wish I had this, I hope I get this, why it's not happening, I wish I wasn't poor, I wish I had more money. You worry about not having enough money, you worry about your debt and bills and stuff like that. So the important aspect of this to remember is that you always have to focus your energy on the desire itself, on the goal itself. Next thing to remember, this is very important. Never forget this if you want to make this law work. It is not that if you keep thinking about something, it's necessarily going to happen in your life, but it should have some emotional energy attached to it. It shouldn't be just some mechanical thought that's going into your life without you feeling anything about it. So if you want to become successful or wealthy, for example, you have to find reasons to become excited and happy about wealth in your mind. And you have to, when you thinking about that, when you are reflecting about your goal and daydreaming about your goal, you have to try find ways to create excitement. I think it's very simple. If your goal is clear and it's something that's going to make you happy, most of the times you'll be able to do that. Like, let's say if I want to get a car, and the way to make the law of attraction work strongly is every day I'm going to spend a few minutes imagining that I have that car now, and I got the car. I imagine what color it is. I imagine how did I get it, who gave it to me, which dealership I got it. Um, did I buy the extra package for the car? Who was with me? Even how was the weather? The more details you add to it, the more powerful it becomes, because more of your energy will be focused on it to create it. So that's another trick, that the more details you bring into it, it works better. So you're going to experience having that thing at this moment without having it. In a way, the way that reality works is that what you focus on and what you give it energy, it starts to become your reality. For some people it happens very fast, for some people it happens more slowly, depending on how much energy you give it and how much focus you are on it. Now we get to next important thing about why the law of attraction doesn't work for some people. One of the most important things that a lot of teachers missed about the law of attraction is the belief systems, or what Joe Vitale called it, counter intentions. Counter intentions, how do I explain that for you? If a lot of times you want something, but at the same time in your subconscious mind you don't want it. That's why you don't get it. And that's why a lot of people going back and forth a lot, and they trying and trying and trying, and it's not happening. So for example, this is actually a funny story. It goes back to some aspects of healing actually, but I like this story. It happened that some people, a healer, was working on a lady who had cancer. And this was a healer that healed many people through some spiritual techniques. And doesn't matter what was it, but this healer was working on this lady, and this lady went to many healers actually and tried many things, and it didn't work. And she found this lady, she started working on her for a while, and she saw that this lady is not getting that energy, and it's not allowing in a way for the transformation to happen. Why? That's the interesting part. So after some digging, and like question and answer and using certain techniques, she found that she found that this lady, uh, she always had issues with her husband, her children, her husband. They were not giving her much attention, or maybe even treating her bad. And after she got ill and she had to rest, and you know her husband started giving her much more love and attention, and her kids became more nice to her. And subconsciously, she attached the feeling of something good to this cancer. She thought, okay, this is something good. For like 30 years, my life was messed up, and now everybody is loving me. Remember, love is a very big attachment, and in a way all of us seek love and attention, right? So it's not just a simple thing. So this lady was like, oh my god, amazing, like everybody loves me now. And that's why she wasn't allowing the change to happen in her subconscious mind and her energy to allow the healing to take place. Another example of this counter intentions is, for example, a lot of people in many different cultures, they have this belief that something is wrong about money. Money is bad, money is, wealthy people are assholes. Something is wrong with being wealthy. If you become wealthy, you you become like, you get, there would be something wrong with you and God, like you won't be a spiritual person anymore. These are all kinds of different types of wrong and baseless belief systems and misunderstood teachings that we all learned, unfortunately. And it's in our subconscious mind in many ways. So, for example, we heard the sentence that money is the root of all evil. And of course, if you believe somewhere in your subconscious that money is evil, and at the same time you're trying to get money, There would be a great conflict in your mind. How can that happen? That's why it doesn't happen for many people. Or even like in the culture that I personally was raised in, we have this famous sentence that a lot of people say, okay, money is nothing. Money is, we use it actually like this. We say, money is the dirt on your hand. It's like you just wash it and it goes, you know? So if you attach some negative thing to something that could be good, like money, then you want to attract it at the same time, it won't work. So I mentioned Joe Vitale, one of the great writers who wrote many things on this subject, and he was in the movie The Secret also. He said something I really like. He said, money is innocent. It means a lot of things. It is really innocent. Money is neither good or neither bad. Money is just a natural energy. You can use it. Just it's like I can use my car to work for charity, or I can use my car to intentionally kill someone. It doesn't mean my car is good or bad. So counter intentions or the belief systems are a big part of why some things don't happen. And we should work on doing self digging, which can be done through many different ways and techniques. But it's also one of the things that many times it's not as simple as doing the other things, which I can explain more later why. It can be a little more complicated, but it can also be for many people as easy as meditating, contemplating on your goal, asking yourself. Your mind, your subconscious is actually very powerful. It's very smart. So if you spend just a few minutes a day, if you've been trying to get something for years and it's not happening, if you spend a few minutes a day just lying down on your couch or something like that, and try to ask your higher self, your subconscious, and what is it that blocking me from this? What is it that preventing this to happen? And I guarantee you, if you spend enough time, you will get some inspirations that when you look at it, it's just, oh my God, that's why I didn't want this happen. It's amazing when you find those belief systems that you never knew consciously. Maybe you had a feeling in a way about them, but you never knew exactly what is it. It sometimes amazes me. Spend a few minutes a day if there is something like that happening in regards to your law of attraction thing, and try to find those reasons. So the other thing that just came to my mind, did you do you remember I just mentioned a few minutes ago that if you focus on the lack of your goal, lack of the thing that you want to get, you won't actually get it. You get more of the lack of that thing. If you want to be rich and your most dominant thoughts are worrying about not having money, you're attracting more of not having money. So you have to find reasons and ways to be focused on the excitement and happiness that happens when you actually have it. So one way to use the law of attraction in a very simple way, which is super powerful, is to be grateful. If you have a little money and you start to focusing on it and be grateful for it, if you have just a small house and you become grateful about it, If you have just the very basic car and become grateful about it, and you do this every day until you make it powerful experience, once you experience that gratefulness for the things that you already have in your life, you are using the law of attraction, and the universe is going to respond to you by providing to you more of those things in better form. That's the trick, which some people don't get it. If you use gratefulness, guys, if you use gratefulness to express your gratitude every day for the things that you have, and you may not appreciate them, and create that energy, many things change in your life. So that's a very simple thing to do, to use the law of attraction in general. So using gratefulness changes many things in one's life. Change your energy, change your mood, your state of mind. It makes you happier. And as I mentioned before, there's a Persian proverb that says, if you give thanks, if you be grateful for the things that you have, you get more of those things. And if you complain, and if you become ungrateful and complain about not having enough, you're gonna actually lose those small things that you have. So maybe that's in a way the meaning of what Jesus said, that those who have a little, he said actually, those who have a lot will receive more, and those who have a little, that little also will be taken from them. So probably the quote could be a little different in the Bible, but Bible readers would know what I'm talking about. So that's one way of putting the same thing. One more interesting thing that I said about the focusing on the thing, the positive side of it, not lack of it. For many years, I was a spiritual person, and since childhood, I would always pray. And sometimes I was wondering, I couldn't get it, that why I pray, I cry for many things, and I beg God or universe to give me those things, but it's not happening. I was like sometime even like pissed off at God. Why don't you give it to me? Like, are you like you don't have like you're like what kind of God you are? Why don't you give it to me? I don't understand. Like, then the more I grew spiritually, and I learned about how the things actually work in the universe, I learned first thing, in a way, it's my opinion. First thing I learned that it's not like actually God is always like sitting there and you asking God, please give me something, and God sends it to you. But it's actually the God, the creation power, the creative power, the power to transform your life and change things is actually within you. And one reason that it's not working is that you're not praying with faith. Jesus and many masters mentioned this, that if you have faith that something that you're praying for is already happened, if you have faith that you know it's gonna happen, then it's gonna happen. So you go praying, begging, focusing on the lack of the thing, complaining to God or your God self about not having the things that you want, and you create more of that energy of lack in your life, and then you complain and you blame God that you are not a good God. Why do you do this to me? And why do you ignore me? Why do you want me to suffer? In my opinion, again, I don't want to say something that may be against some people's belief, depending on what kind of belief system or religion they follow. In my opinion, if God was supposed to change your life for you, if God was supposed to change your life for you, why would He create the universe? And why would He make you do things? And why would He give you the free will to choose, to choose, to take action? Of course, God is the creative energy, but He or she or it is inside you and an integrated part of you and one with you. So you are actually using the power of God by having faith and focus on what you want. So you are the person that making things happen by allowing the force of God or universe or whatever to to make things happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is not like my life is messed up and I don't want to do anything. I don't want to fix my mind. I don't want to take action, and I pray God, God, please give me money. And I focus on the how messed up is my life and how unfortunate I am, and then I beg God to change my life. But actually, the power of God within you is so strong, and it can do miracles. Like Jesus said, if you have faith, you can move the mountains. Or once he said to his disciples, the things that I did, if you have faith, you can also do those things. Why would he say something like that? Because he knows that it all depends on your faith. Not necessarily faith in the religious term, but a strong belief that this can happen. So if you pray or if you set intentions for something to happen with a strong faith and with the lack of those negative belief systems, counter intentions, it's going to happen, sometimes almost instantly. So, speaking of the belief systems, and I said that you can do some contemplation, digging in your mind to find those negative belief systems. But the other way that also is the other way that you can use, the other thing that you should know, it makes it work sometimes, even if you don't consciously dig your mind and find those belief systems, is to make what you want more powerful than those negative belief systems. Because if you change your mind and your subconscious mind and make your desire so strong, it's going to by itself to beat those counter intentions. So let's summarize what I said about the law of attraction. To put it in a very simple way, you have to become first clear about what you want. You can't create from the state of confusion and not exactly being sure. So become clear. spend some times daily. The more time you spend, better, of course. Thinking about those things that you want, daydream about them in a way. Pay attention to how that it makes you feel. One way to put it is to travel into future, experience what you want without paying attention to what is right now in your life. Don't allow your attention to be focused on the lack, but focus your attention on the things that you want. And the more you pay attention to the things that you want and attach emotions to it, the sooner it is going to happen. I'm telling you, this is as simple as it could be, but for very weird reasons, strange reasons that it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand our human nature and human mind. Most people don't do it, or they do it for a couple of days. That's why it doesn't work. You have the creative force of the universe in yourself. And why did almost all religions, I don't think it's almost all religions actually, said that human was created in the image of God, or humans and God are one. Speaking of that, that's when you are aware of your God self, not when you are in the ignorance of your God self and you think that you are a poor human being and you don't have anything and you are so unfortunate, and you're again creating a false reality for yourself by paying attention to the bad or wrong things in your life instead of to your divine godly power within you. So you can create whatever you want in your life, but it all depends on your faith. It all depends on your focus and perseverance. Faith, focus, perseverance. If you keep your mind focused with faith on a desire, it's going to happen. The more energy you put on it, the more fire, the emotional energy and fire, the more of that you put in it, the sooner that thing is going to become reality. What you think is already happening, because the universe in a way is manifestation of a thought. Some religions say that universe is a thought in God's mind. And if we are one with God or that force, we can also use our thoughts to change things in the universe. Actually, there have been many scientific researches about how your thoughts can affect things around you. There are many books written about this. I think it's in the Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, that he talks about some of this experience. Hopefully I'm not wrong, that they did, and they came to conclusion that your thoughts can actually affect the matter and things around you. That's actually a great book. That's one of the best books about your subconscious mind and how you can use your subconscious mind to create things and change things. It's highly recommended. Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. One of the best books, actually, after that, about the law of attraction that I can recommend to everyone to read is Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks. That's one of the best books I ever read on this subject because it's so direct and so precise, and it covers many different aspects of this without giving unnecessary information. And the best part is that it gives you a lot of techniques and practical ways to use the law of attraction. So there are more things to mention about the law of attraction, of course, but I suggest you watch this video, rewatch it, make notes, because what I said is the summary of the one of some of the most important things on this subject. And if you take notes and try to understand more about those things or study more, it's gonna be make this experience more powerful for you. And thank you so much for listening, and I wish you all very good time.